Hey, Jeannie Lynch coming back to you today. Welcome back to Spiritual Stories Worth Sharing, a year-long focus on inspiring and motivational stories to hopefully make a difference in your day, but more importantly, change the world. That's the goal here. I can't wait for you to meet my next friend here, Richard Bontrager. You're about to meet him. He goes by the nickname Trigger. We'll find out what that means when he gets on. The timing for meeting this man is just divine, because here we all are, right? The coronavirus is out, we're all social distancing, we're doing meetings on Zoom, we're working virtually. And his whole focus right now is helping people rock the virtual stage. So we're going to find out what that means. He reached out to me because as he defined it, he's defied the odds and he wants to share that beautiful spiritual story with us. I can't wait to hear more about that. There's also another little connection that he doesn't know, and I think I'll surprise him when we get on with the interview, what that is. So you're going to have to stay listening. Please stay watching and listening. This beautiful spiritual story we're sharing is coming up next. I'm going to get on and read you his beautiful bio, and then the interview will be coming up. Can't wait to share. Enjoy. Let me introduce you to Rich Bontrager. This gentleman has had 3 near misses on his life and will be sharing his story today. He's known as Trigger. Trigger has enjoyed 25 years of sports broadcasting. He's hosted a talk show and now a keynote speaker, despite being born with a horrible stutter. He also hosts a YouTube channel where he teaches leaders and communicators to defy the odds, as he is a performance coach and expert. Rich coaches and speaks on how to rock the virtual stage. You can follow him on Twitter and on YouTube. Without further ado, let me introduce you to Rich Trigger Bontrager. Welcome, Rich. So Rich, so happy you're here today. Do you go by Trigger, or what are you most comfortable hearing?
So many people have called me Trigger over the years. I do go by Rich, but
Okay.
Trigger is fine, whichever one you're more comfortable with.
Okay, so both perfect for me. I just wanted to acknowledge a vibration of your name. So thank you so much for taking time today. And so whether people are listening to this on the Intuitive Mindset podcast or watching it on both of our YouTube channels and HD color, I really do appreciate the audience, and I also appreciate you and your time. And as you know, because we talked offline, really excited about sharing people's inspirational stories and journeys and what did they do and how did they get there. And I have this whole beautiful format that will hopefully open that up for you. So the first question for my audience is, and I already did introduce you, by the way, is just to give them a sense of, what was kind of going on in your life and what is the story today that you're really intending to share with my audience?
Well, the last several years, it's really been about defying the odds. That's actually been my whole life story. But the last several years particularly, I've been in the ministry for 25 years. Pastor, leader, teacher, speaker. But the last 5 years, I went through liver failure. And so the liver failure was something I did not expect. They found it literally by accident. And over a 3-year course, I continued to go downhill. My life completely came to a stop. I also went through a divorce in the middle of all that. Nothing you want to plan for, but what I found through that all was God was with me, even more present, ever present. My faith never wavered. I just knew it was going to be a dark, ugly valley. And then the defy the odds part is keeping your humor, keeping your self-centered, having a prayerful walk with God, and enjoying it while you're literally about ready to die. My humor was always alive. I had great time with my nursing staff, my doctors. And then the recovery coming out of all that has been, now I have a fresh story to tell. I have something new to talk about.
I mean, so was there an illness that you didn't know? Take me to it was a surprise to you, because most people who have issues like that need a liver transplant have had years of it. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I probably had years of it, but we never saw it. We never knew about it. Okay. So I was a pastor leading the church, having a great time. And I actually went in for doctor's terms, a GI bleed. I didn't know what was going on. I wanted to get checked out. And then they admitted me to the hospital, and they said, "You're the most severe patient we have here. Your liver is 75% shot and gone, never coming back, and you're the most critical guy in the hospital." And that's how my story began.
Were you in tremendous pain at this point?
No, I have an amazing pain tolerance. So part of the
that can go against us.
Yeah. I was laughing and joking, sitting up, and the doctor was like, "Knock it off. You have to really understand this is really serious." And I'm like, "I feel fine." They're like, "No, you're not." And that began a whole different thing of learning and understanding. Literally, we went home and changed my salt content. We cleaned the cupboards at night to say there's a new way to doing life.
Okay, that is amazing. So now I get to tell you the beautiful connection between you and I that I've
been waiting for. I'm very curious about this too, by the way.
Yeah, so my daughter, unfortunately, was killed in a car crash when she was 8 years old. And we were able to donate her organs. And one of the most amazing stories that I heard was the person who received her liver. So here I'm on the donating side, right? Yeah. And you're on the receiving side. And what you didn't know when we set up this appointment today is today would be her 24th birthday. So there are no accidents, right?
No, not at all.
None. Even that accident that took her life that day. So when I saw your notes, that you were an organ recipient, my first on stage, as you're going to talk about how you rock the virtual stage, when I started public speaking, it was on tour for the organ donation.
Unos Ambassador, yes.
Yeah. So there you go. So anyway, that's our beautiful connection. I love that. So moving on with that too. So obviously, how did this change your life? I mean, take us through a little bit. You started being healthier, or it changed your life in that you realized life was short?
Well, I believe life is a great adventure. Yeah. So even through this all, I kept that life is a great adventure. The adventure changed though. So like I had not lived with my brother since high school. Since I was going through a divorce and all the things going on, I had to have a caregiver. I moved from Minnesota to Georgia and moved into a bedroom with my brother that we have not lived together since he was 18.
Oh my gosh.
And so part of it was the reconnection of family in a different way that you never expected. Here we are adults and we have a new bond, a new relationship that we never envisioned to have. So again, through tragedy comes joy, comes new situations. And now I'm in Colorado, rebooting up my whole career and my life, because part of it is I'm not going to stop living. I'm not going to stop doing what I do. So there's a new adventure now by landing into Denver and starting a career of speaking and leading in a different way again.
Yeah, I'm curious how you got into that. Are you still doing the pastor work, or are you really?
Actually, I'll always be a pastor. That's always been my pastor's heart. 25 years, you can't turn it off.
Yeah.
But what I sense and feel from God is the platform was going to change. And now he's giving me a different pulpit, a different platform to speak from. So I'm always going to weave my faith stories. I'm always going to weave God and Christ and different things into this, messages of hope.
Yeah.
Well, depending on the setting, how far do I put that? How hard do I put that? But it's always going to be there. People will know that God lives within me, and that's part of the Defy the Odds message. That's always part of have faith beyond you to help you get through those tough times in life. So no matter where I talk, God's going to be a part of it.
I love that. And I think I'm going to mirror something, because in my own awareness lately, through everything we're going through with the coronavirus, so let's acknowledge that and where we are. We would not have met if it wasn't for the coronavirus. So it continues to do beautiful things for my life. So you're one of those things. But what I've understood lately in going through this crisis of social distancing and stuff is that in every crossroad we get to, we get to that crossroad. There's a choice. And I love the choice of being in service to others over service to self. And they say when you choose the road, in service to others, how freeing that can be, because God opens up all things, right? So I have a sense that you understand that more than anybody, right?
Oh yeah, no, that is definitely bullseye. Perfect.
Yeah. So cool. So how would you say you navigated through that process? It sounds like you've always been wired happy, so no one had to teach you that. So what, for my audience and people who are also maybe going through something similar, for the people who are not wired happy, I'm wired happy too. It's not always great though to be wired happy when you go through tragedy, right?
Right.
Everybody expects you to just go through it. But what about those people who aren't wired that way? What would you say is part of your process to navigate through that? What are some?
Well, those are things now I coach and teach on. So great question, Jeannie. One is humor. I have found no matter what, I have to have this quirky, weird sense of humor. And with the doctors and the different people, I would laugh and joke and tease and like, you're probably the happiest sick patient we've ever had. So when they were doing a blood transfusion, for example, I was cracking jokes. The nurses had to come in every 15 minutes to check on me. I'm watching football, having a great time. They said, you're the funnest, most deadliest patient in the building, but we all are fighting over who gets to come visit you. But you have so much joy and laughter. The other thing is that faith thing. I believe that God is always going to be true, always going to be faithful. So no matter what I go through, he is ever present. So that's a confidence that I can have.
Yeah.
And I always feel, because I've had other medical stories, other situations, I have something to tell. God's going to use me. God's going to allow this to be part of the story, the narrative that I get to reveal. It may not be the story that I want,
Yes.
but it's a story he's allowing me to use. So I'm always looking for those opportunities. If people ask a question, if they say a phrase, I'll slowly step into it and see where God opened up the door. So to me, that's part of the fun that I coach people on is step up, open up those doors, because you never know where that conversation is going to go. Just like you and I did not know there was a transplant story out there.
Yes. I love that. Beautiful. I love that. Timeline. We've been talking a little bit. What was the timeline for this? You're saying over the last 5 years. I do want my audience too to know about this Rock the Virtual Stage because of where we are in the world right now. So many people are doing Zoom. You're teaching people how to present themselves on Zoom. We got the backstage, the beautiful curtain behind you. Getting businesses up and running because this is our new reality, right? So how did you get into that, Rich?
Well, 2017 was a transplant. I spent about a year recovery. I've always been public speaking. I've always been a broadcaster. So I understand all that world. And so I transitioned from the pastorate to the public speaking side as a way to get back up and get running. And then I brought my broadcasting into this to acknowledge that this virtual stage is very powerful. I understand the media, the TV, the radio techniques, the voice inflections, the dramatic parts of being on stage. It is dramatic. It is acting. And so now here we are with coronavirus, all the virtual tools that you just said. People are trying to figure out, how can I do education? How can I do government? How can I do whatever your business is? Everyone's going virtual. And so I'm coaching people on all these techniques that I've learned to bring it alive, make it fun, so people don't tune out, fall asleep, or have it look really bad. No one's going to watch a bad video.
Or how about lose their job? You probably saw on national news last week where somebody was in a Zoom meeting. I don't know if you saw this. A cat jumped up on the desk in the middle of the Zoom meeting. He threw the cat off. The camera caught his beer can and he was working.
Right.
And that gentleman is out of work right now. So how do you, back to your relevance, right?
Yes, no. And that's why so many people don't realize the camera doesn't lie. That's an old saying, but the camera doesn't lie. It's catching everything now. So the shift is going to be for the first couple of weeks here, people are able to be at home in their shorts, in their sloppy clothes, on the couch, doing their Zoom calls, doing their meeting. Very quickly now, it's going to shift to, okay, let's get professional. Yeah. This is going to go on for a while. So you can't do the beer can. You can't do the sloppy clothes. You have to dress the part, dress success, show up and light up the room. And that's going to be part of the wake-up call for a lot of people, that this really is a stage. It can be really engaging, but a lot of people don't know how to make it engaging.
What a skill to bring into the schools too when we do get back in, right? Yep. I'm sure you'll have a point of business heading there. So, I'm moving into the next question, which is, what is your point of inspiration? Ooh, you have so many. So through this experience that you had, right, what would it be? What would your point of inspiration be?
I have so much hope, and here we are in a dark time. People are angry, they're frustrated, they're not working. Yeah. So I went through a period of self-isolation through my transplant. I was at home on my computer, writing movie scripts, trying to keep my creative brain going. That's another tip I tell people. Stay creative. Use what you have. It may not be the career you wanted, but pivot it. Before there was pivoting, I was pivoting. And so understand how to do that. So I'm now helping people to do that. And part of the motivation is you don't have to lose what you had.
Yeah.
It may not be the same, but it doesn't have to have any less meaning or passion or energy. So my job is to help people find that thing and repackage it, represent it, and find the same joy that they used to have before, because it's not the same. Let's admit that.
Yes.
But it doesn't have to have any less effect or power behind it.
Yeah. Let me ask you a deeper question on that,
Yeah.
that I know will open up a new door for you. I always say I can't be of service to anyone when I'm working with them until I get them to hope. Like hope's the beginning, but it's really the halfway mark, right? Because once you get them to hope. So what do you do for somebody who's not at hope yet? What would you, how, from the pastor world, right?
No, that's exactly where I go.
If I was coming to you and I did not have hope, I had just suffered the loss I'd suffered 15 years ago, and I was, don't tell me about hope, it's too far away from me. What would be a good start point for someone who doesn't have hope right now?
What dreams, what's your passions?
Okay.
Let's just back it up to what lights that fire inside of you? What makes you in the middle of the night? Like for me, I get up and I doodle and I write ideas. What keeps you up at night? What are those things that you, like when somebody asks you a question, you just can't shut up because it's going to ooze out of you. And get back to those natural passions and find that fire. And then as a coach, as a pastor, my job is to inflame that, to add some wind and some energy to help you begin to see, you know what, that passion, that dream is still really exciting for me. Or maybe it's something new that I never knew I could do before, always wanted to do it. And then you get them back to thinking about it. It's so fun to see the light bulb go on. It's so fun to see their energy light up and go, I didn't know that.
I forgot.
And then
right?
Add more to it.
Yeah, I love that. Beautiful. My next question is, what did this teach you about yourself? Sounds like you're pretty intuitive to yourself and your own needs, but was there something that you didn't know about yourself prior to going through this experience that you've mastered now?
Part of that learning for me really was the dependency of other people. I've always been independent. I love people. I'm a people person. I'm an A+ out there extrovert.
I couldn't tell.
What's that?
I couldn't tell. That was me being sarcastic, but go ahead.
So I've always been a people where that energy feeds me. Yeah. I didn't know how much I needed people in a different way to sit with me, to comfort me, to walk through, to admit this really is painful. I'm really, really alone. I would walk around a small little lake when I was really, really getting sick. I would talk on the phone with friends in Minnesota, around the country, and it was my only lifetime to a former life.
Got it.
And what they fed my soul with was amazing, just to sit and watch and listen with me while they're like, I want to do something for you, but I can't do anything for a dead man. But the love and the encouragement, all that was so powerful.
So here you are, a giving man, and it taught you how to receive.
Yes.
I love that. I love this question in my interviews. If I knew then what I know now, I would have
started a lot earlier on the public speaking and leadership side. I grew up with a horrible stutter. I still have it. In fact, this is National Stutter Awareness Week. So I'm talking about it everywhere, shooting special videos. So that stutter limited me from really stepping out and doing some of the things that I now do. 25 years as a broadcaster, as a pastor, I got there. But if I would have had the confidence that I do now, if I would have understood the stutter, people will get past it. People will relax with you if you relax. If I would have known those things then, I would have started a lot earlier.
Now, do you still stutter every now and then now, or is it something that you've totally healed or cured for yourself? I don't know enough about.
I still stutter. In fact, I stutter during all my interviews. I stutter during all my broadcasts. I do. So I found ways to edit. My machine is the original editor. So I know a word is coming. I can feel it. I know the trigger words, the tones. So I can change mid-sentence. Most people don't even catch it that I've done it. Other people that stutter will go, I know what he just did.
I think that is fascinating. And I have to say, you said it in your notes. I've never seen any energy that would tell me that that's so. So evidently you're doing it very well. I love that. I was going to ask.
God thing. That's a whole other God story, by the way. That's a whole God story.
Oh, can you share it, please?
Yeah, actually, I was on a drama team. So I got put on a drama team when I was 18 years old to go travel the country. They knew I stuttered. They put me on it anyway because I was a ham and an extrovert. We went through whole practices and practices. The literal night before we launched off on a 10-week tour, we were going to do a final run through for the entire crowd as a mock run through. I wasn't hitting my marks. It wasn't working out. When I would stutter, it would blow the other actors up. And literally the director said, if Rich can't nail this, we have to pull it. And you guys do puppets and other things, but you can't do this. This was the main centerpiece. And I was playing a big, bad, rough Roman soldier.
Oh
and
my
I couldn't do it. We walked on stage. I hit every line, every mark, every cue, every actor, stayed in character, came backstage, and literally their mouths were hanging open. The director's right in my face, like, what just happened? Where did you go to? Because you were not on stage. That was somebody else. And they said, it's a moot point. God wants you to do this. Keep going. And I became the spokesman for the group.
Did you pray prior to going, or did you just kind of let it go?
We prayed all through practices. I prayed constantly. My mom, who stutters, prayed for me. There was so much prayer going on. But it was that final moment, and God literally showed up and said, watch what I can do. And since then, I've always remembered that. I've always remembered when I speak, when I lead, when I teach, people do not know. This should not be my living.
Yeah.
And that's how cool God is.
I agree. That is an amazing story, by the way. Thank you. We're coming around the final 220 of our beautiful conversation today. And I want to make sure, when you knew it was going to be talking and you knew you had this opportunity to share this beautiful spiritual story we're sharing, was there something that I've missed kind of asking or talking about that you want to make sure gets out today to the world for as far as the work that you do and
maybe possibly the biggest thing right now, because we are in Corona, we are in this fear cycle, we are in this whole new ramp up into technology. Technology is not the enemy, folks. It can be your friend. And one of the big things is we need to use this in whatever career or whatever capacity you're in. The church is using this in a whole brand new way. I'm so excited that churches are now realizing we can now virtually do things in a whole new way. My daughter is a Christian education major right now. Her youth ministry has gone online, and they are producing the coolest, funnest, interactive videos for kids locked in at home. It's so exciting to see it. So instead of being turned off by the downside of this, God is a God of creation. God is a God of creativity. I think we're learning a lot about creativity again at a whole new level. And to me, I want to coach that. I want to encourage that. I want to see the craziest new whacked out ideas come to life. So to me, this is an exciting time. Mm-hmm. In spite of everything we're going through, this is an extremely exciting time. I would love people to capture that and understand that and be able to embrace the truth of we can do something new that's never been done before. In school, like you said, schools have to learn how to now teach and engage your students. Don't sit at a desk, teachers. Don't be boring. Be creative. Bring your stories, bring your math, bring your science to life in a way that can capture your audience, get your students engaged in a new way. Those are the fun things right now.
Love it, because what you're saying is show up in a new way. And if that isn't exactly what's going on in the world right now.
Not at all.
Yeah.
We're actually being told to go the other direction right now. We're being told to cower, to shut down, to wait. I'm saying go engage, go do right now.
Yeah, I just love that. So I will put all your social media links and everything, but if someone wanted to follow you or get into your coaching, and what's your best platform to reach you on? And I will have links in the description.
Yeah, one of the fun ones right now is How to Rock the Virtual Stage. That's my interactive group. You happen to be in that group. So you know about it, but I'm coaching and equipping people to rock the virtual stage. I give tips and tricks and things like that. In fact, my first ebook just came out. Nice. And if people want to get a copy of that book, reach out to me. I would be happy to give you a free copy of the ebook. It has enhanced links. Everything is clickable. You go to the sites, you learn more. A lot of freebies included in this, but that's a great site right now for what we're going through. But also, I think it's going to be future. Yeah. I think it's going to help you go to a new place with your careers and your businesses, because everyone's having to change their businesses and career right now. This is not a short-term thing. This is forever going to change the way we do life and business. So I would encourage you to come find me on How to Rock the Virtual Stage. I would love to connect in any way I can.
I love it. I will have your links there so they can do that in an easy way, right? Virtually. I think I've already asked 10 different ways what's your inspirational message. So I think you've said it, and I love that. But what I am going to move into is my favorite part.
Okay.
It's the rapid fire.
Okay, bring it on. Bring it on.
Rapid fire. You can only answer 1 or 2 questions. The music's queued up. We're all ready to go. What is your favorite spiritual book? You can't say the Bible because we know that's what you want to say. Spiritual book that has helped and influenced you.
The Barbarian Way by Erwin McManus. Read it. Read it. Read it.
Wonderful. If you were going to change the world today, the world needs what in order to be changed?
A lot of joy and laughter.
Woo-hoo! Let's do that one twice. Your life lesson. Everybody kind of comes here and we feel like we're in one theme, you know, we stay in that one theme. Some people it's receiving, right? What is your life lesson?
Defy the odds. Life is a great adventure. Don't let things stop you. Go out there, defy the odds.
I love it. You're probably going to say the same thing for this next question. What do you love about yourself?
I am a chameleon. I am the cat that has multiple lives, and I'm going to get back up and get back up and get back up. I love the fact I don't know how to stay down.
Okay. And what are you doing when you're experiencing joy?
Just before I came on, I'm jamming the music. I love music. Music inspires me, and so much so I'm literally cranking up the tunes to 11 and having a good time with my music.
Okay, that's a great answer. And so that wraps up our beautiful interview together. Thank you so much. So for the people who are listening on the Intuitive Mindset podcast or following this on our YouTube channels, we truly do appreciate the audience, right, Rich?
Yeah, we don't know. Without the audience, we have no one to talk to. And again, let me just slide in here. If you want a 15-minute free consultation, make sure you put that in, Jeannie, because I would love to talk to people. If they have questions about this whole thing, 15 minutes free, so I can give you a quick little coaching up and help you rock with that.
You heard it here, everybody. Hey, thanks again for your time today. I know it's a beautiful day, and you're going to make the best of it. What's your slogan?
We'll see you rocking the virtual stage.
There we go. We'll see you then.
Have a good one. Thanks, Jeannie.
Thank you.